I will go. Lead me, Yahweh, I will follow. Lead me, Yahweh, I will go. 'Cause when you call me, well, I will answer. Lead me, Yahweh, I will go. Cause when you call me, well, I will answer. Lead me, Yahweh. Lead me, Yahweh. Lead me, Yahweh. I will go. I will go. Hey, I will go. I will go. I will go. I will go. Lead me, Yahweh. Shalom. Wonderful trip to the East Coast. I want to thank all of you for being faithful to the ministry and being here while Sean and I were away. We learned a lot of things while we were gone. And it was good for us to have gone where we went. I have a lot of things on my mind. We have to make some changes. We have to make some changes. We didn't realize. Let me put this. Let me start here. Our purpose for going to Atlanta was to meet with the congregation there. And because we had tried to contact them and they did not respond to us, so we thought. The problem being was that we were trying to contact them through a wrong address, so they couldn't respond because they never got our communique. We explained that to them when we arrived, and they were kind of astonished. And the young man that we talked to went immediately to work to try to rectify that situation. We found them to be a very warm and receptive congregation. Very warm, very receptive. And welcoming. But one of the major things that Sean and I recognized, and he recognized it before I did, is that we still have some Ashkenazism in us. I had an opportunity to talk with Moreh Elkanah this week, and I explained to him our origin, the basis of our beginning, which is the root basis of many people who are trying to turn to and understand this Hebraicness. The place you go because you don't know any better is to the Ashkenazis. They started us on this journey. They helped us to gravitate to what we needed to gravitate to. They gravitate the language and what have you. And we recognized that the first thing we needed to do immediately, before we even left the East Coast, immediately, was to stop referring to ourselves as rabbi. Sean looked it up, because we never thought about it, never crossed our mind. The term rabbi means a teacher of Judaism. That should have been I should say, The eyes of our understanding being open and coming to that understanding, we immediately, before we left the West Coast, dropped the title rabbi. So, how should we be referred? Well, the junior elder you know, he doesn't, that, that guy over there is something else. He don't watch television. Matter of fact, I think he probably watched more television with me than he probably has all year long because we were sharing the same room. And you know, I had to keep up with the baseball and the basketball and all the stuff that was going on. And but he got up early Sunday morning, did the research, and said, we got to change some things. Stop referring to ourselves as rabbi and take on this new terminology, which is the word more, M-O-W-R-E-H, more. Refer to ourselves by that title. What does the word more mean? Well, if we look it up, it's going to have some references to Canaanites, but it also has the meaning of providing something that has to do with early rain, latter rain, and the word teacher. Teacher. So when we arrived at the facility, they allowed us to know, they said, well, moray is, we're breaking for dinner, and moray is in there. So I'm thinking that moray is his name. And they go, well, I said, where's moray? And they go, well, moray's right over there. So, but as we begin to talk and understand and learn, there is an awful lot that we have in common. The young man is an excellent teacher. People are very warm. Sean sat at the table and talked with one of the brethren there. And it's amazing that, I don't know if it's amazing or not, but they don't use the Hebrew terminology that we use, such as moedings, mitzvot, mitzvah, so forth and so on. The terminology of the holy convocations that we refer to Hebraically kind of puzzled them. And that's because they teach from the King James. They teach from the King James version of Scripture, as I find that most of our Hebrew brethren do. But they welcomed us with open arms. And as I talked to Ori Elkanah this week, He said that you all have been the talk of the congregation all week. And they've opened their arms to us. And as I sat and talked with him, he said to me these words. He says, Moray Robert, you and I shall be forever connected. You can't get rid of me. You can't get rid of me. I said, I can't get rid of you. He says, no. I said, so when I say, Moray, go away, he said, I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to be here. We shall always be connected. Now, I say all that to say this. We tried to connect with them via email and what have you. Everything has a reason and everything has a purpose and an outcome. So why couldn't we connect with them by email? Because the Most High wanted us to have a face-to-face. If we'd have connected them by email, we'd have never gone to Atlanta. We would have never had a face-to-face, and we would have never had the opportunity to have the connection that we had in the way that we did. So that was quite interesting and quite obvious. Those of you who happen to be watching the stream here in Sacramento while we were there got a chance to hear him teach. And he gave me license. Those of you that watch the stream, you know what I'm talking about. He gave me license. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to leave that there.
At least give it to us today. Somewhere in here.
Let me say this. Their approach to JC is the same approach that we have, only in stronger terminology. And obviously the Most High doesn't want me to say it because I can't remember it. I remember sissy, but I don't remember the other word after sissy. And I don't want to mess it up. So our trip there was very, very, very interesting. I also received a communique from Ghana. And Ghana is asking for us to come and to fellowship with them. A dear sister who was a friend and was mentored by the same person that mentored me, Bishop Young, resides in Ghana, and happened to come across our podcast and said to me, if you want to come to Ghana, I will send you the necessary paperwork that you need to have to be able to come here and be with us in Ghana. I said, yeah, Ghana's on our bucket list. So, anyway, that being that, glad to be home. Let's go. I got here a little late today, so didn't pull up the board. And want to say to you, Moray Trey Beverly, you did an excellent job last week in our absence. Now, in Atlanta, they have service all day long, all day, all day, all day long, until the sun goes down. They are in service. I told the Moray, I said, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But one of the things that is important for us to recognize is this particular text right here in chapter 58, beginning at verse number 13. And whether we are here in a building or wherever you are on Shabbat, this text right here, along with Shemot chapter number 31, has to be a part of our thought process on Shabbat. I notice something else that they do that's very nature to Hebraic teaching. They have a reader. And in some respect, if we taught that way, it would be good for our young people, because the reader was a young lady, a young girl, and she had to be able to know her scriptures. The one thing that I also noticed that was absent amongst them was mechanical Bibles. They don't tend to use mechanical Bibles. They use the hard source. That's okay. Different strokes for different folks. No team is the same. You may play the game from the foundation of the game, but there are certain nuances that every team has that are different to the outcome. We're just a little more probably technologically in the fore. But there's another thing that I, I struggle with the, I don't really struggle with it. I don't find the text to resonate with where we are in this exile, but I understand it. If you listen to the teaching that particular Shabbat, those of you heard him go into a dissertation on tzitzits. That's because I had the conversation with him. One of the first things he asked me was, because I didn't have them on, was I opposed to tzitzits? I said, no, I'm not opposed to them. I said, I just don't find them, while I understand the significant relationship to them for us, I don't have, and neither do we wear in this exile, a garment that has four corners. Because the text says, wear them on the four corners. So I don't have four corners. I got belt loops. Those aren't four corners. But he wore some that I found quite fashionable. And when we're in this exiled world that we live in, wearing them does become a conversation piece, topic of conversation. And if we're going to make a noise in our surroundings as we traverse and as we go, they're like a calling card. People want to know, what are they? Why you got those on? So they're shorter, more stylish. So Moray Appleton, we're going to have some made for us. Shabbat. Shabbat cannot be the norm. It cannot be the norm. Shabbat cannot be what we do every day. Cannot be. It cannot be what our lifestyle is within the framework of what we do every day. It has to change. Just as I struggled with starting to function, starting to gravitate to this Hebraic way, I find myself struggling once again with change. Bring me up Shemot chapter number 31, please. And, well, matter of fact, let me do it here. I'm going to hold this. We'll come back to this. Yahweh said to Moshe, tell the people of Israel, you are to observe my Shabbats. For this is a sign between me and you through all your generations, so that you will know that I am Yahweh, who sets you apart from me. This word right here is translated in most languages as the word holy. I don't use the word holy because the word holy has connotations that are tied to idolatrous language, which is also connected with All Hallows, Halloween, and that's not what the Most High is talking about. Moray, Beverly, I heard you stumbling a little bit last week as you were reading, as the word holy came up 3 or 4 times in the text and you didn't know how to treat it. Anytime you see the word holy, you should be holy as I am holy, blah, blah. Be set apart as I am set apart. Be set apart. Set apart. Don't stumble over it. You're set apart. Set apart means that you have been called to be different. You're not the same. So the Most High says, you will know that I am Yahweh who sets you apart for me. You are set apart for me. It's like taking something that you own that is special out of the mix of what it's in. Let me put it this way. Let me make it simpler. But Charles, you relate to this. We have a German chocolate cake that you love so dear. And it's there as a whole. But you want to make sure that I take a piece out that is set apart for you. You separate it from the whole and set it apart for you. That's what the Most High is saying about Israel. Of the whole of humanity that I have made, out of all humanity that I have made, I have taken you out of that humanity and I have set you apart for me. Therefore, because I have done this, you are to keep my Shabbat because it is set apart for you. So not only are you set apart from me, but within the Shabbat itself, it is set apart. out of all the days, out of all the time, this time is set apart for you. Everyone who treats it as ordinary must be put to death. Well, we're in exile, so guess what we ain't gonna do? I am not going to prison for hard-headed, stiff-necked people and say, well, I did it in the name of Scripture. No. If we were in the land and that continued to happen, we'd be digging some holes and y'all would be getting your baseball arms in shape because there'd be a stoning. Everyone who treats it, this word right here is the word that we have to pay attention to. We have to define ordinary. Ordinary is something that is within the confines of what we do every day that has nothing to do with Shabbat. Go shopping, go to a movie, do things outside the scope of what makes life life. Go do our thing. I have a thing. I have a thing. I need to go do my thing. On the Shabbat, I don't do my thing. I don't do my thing. My thoughts cannot be within the framework of my thing. It's set apart for the Most High. I can't leave here within the confines of the Shabbat and go to the driving range and do my thing. Early on, I used to think, well, I can leave Shabbat service, afterwards, and I can hook up with the boys in the afternoon and we can play golf. I used to think that way. No, it's still within the Shabbat. I can't do that. For whoever does any work, now this and this are two different things. Ordinary and work are two different things. We have to understand what ordinary is. Then we have a period here, and then he says any work. So we've been hung up on not doing any work, and we didn't pay attention to ordinary. You following me? We were hung up on, well, I'm not doing any work. Okay? But I got my thing to do. Now, watch this now. Well, we'll get to it on the other side. Whoever does any work on it is to be cut off from his people. 6 days, work will get done, but on the seventh day of the Shabbat is for complete rest, set apart for Yahweh. Whoever does any work on the day of Shabbat must be put to death. Once again, what's the word that keeps coming up that gets in your mind? Work. We don't see this word ordinary, but we see work being repeated over and over again. The people of Israel are to keep Shabbat, to observe Shabbat through all their generations as a perpetual covenant. This is a sign between me and the people of Israel forever. Forever. 6 days. For in 6 days Yahweh made the Shabbat, the Shemayim, and the Eretz, but on the seventh day he stopped working and rested. So we have Shemot, we have the mitzvot here in Shemot that gives us our connection back to Isaiah 58 and 13. So now he says to you, if you hold back your foot on Shabbat, we cannot argue because we have the mitzvot in Shemot. So we can't argue with the prophet Yeshayahu in Isaiah when he brings this up and says, well, that's not a mitzvah. Well, he's telling us a mitzvah, just like we stand up here and we mention mitzvahs. He's telling us a mitzvah. If you hold back your foot on Shabbat from pursuing your own interests. Okay, now, let's go here. Let's read it in a different way. If you hold back your foot on Shabbat from doing that which is ordinary, see, your own interest is ordinary. On my holy day, if you call Shabbat a delight, Yahweh's set-apart day worth honoring, period, then honor it by not doing, here it is, let's put it again, your ordinary things. Ordinary, usual, is synonymous. They're synonymous words. By not doing your usual things or pursuing your ordinary interests or your ordinary things or speaking about them, well, now we got another issue. Because now we're even talking about not speaking about them. Kind of tightening up, isn't it? I'm going to play golf tomorrow. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. But today, that cannot be on my mind. That's not my thought for today. I have to be able to clear my mind of all things that are ordinary, all things that I intend to pursue outside of the framework of what today is. It is what? What is it? Set apart. So, the set apartness makes it different. It makes it different. Than yesterday, the day before. I have until the sun hits the horizon on the day of Shabbat to do all of my usual things and all my things of interest and all my thoughts that are going to be germane to what's going to happen after the sun goes down. I got all that time to do that. When you think about it, out of 6 days, it's a very small part of your time and my time that the Most High asks us to do a mitzvot that he's asking us to do. So if it's worth honoring, then honor it by not doing your usual or ordinary things, or pursuing your interests or ordinary things, or even speaking about them. Now, here's the bonus. Here's the payoff. If you do this, you will find delight in Yahweh. Delight. If you do this, you will find that the emphasis of your worship, the emphasis of your existence, your emphasis of your daily life, watching this, in those 6 days, will be a delight for you, because in them the Most High is going to do something for you and I that no other nation of people has the ability to receive or do or get. You know what that is? You know what that is? You will be blessed above measure. So now that means that the delight means that within the framework of what your 6 days bring to you, you will not have to struggle. Doors, while I was in New York, I walked through a lot of automatic doors. And the doors just opened for me. The Most High will cause all of the objections, all of the things in your life that are negative to be demised. He will make you ride on the heights of the land. So now, you're no longer in a place that is defined the tail. He moves you to the front of the line. We got some conversation coming. Why are you? I was here before you. Well, I know that. Why did you get? Oh, okay. Why did you get to? Oh, well, hey. Those zitzits that you wear, and the ladies wear them too. You just go. Well, what's that mean? That means that I walk in the teachings and the ways of the Most High, and the Most High has promised me that my days would be delightful, and I would ride on the heights of the land and feed you with the heritage of your ancestor Yaakov. Now, what's the heritage? What's the heritage of our ancestors Yaakov? What's the heritage? The heritage is that I have made a covenant with you. A covenant. A covenant that cannot be broken. That says to you, I have promised you, Israel, that wherever you are walking in my ways, that I would never leave you, nor would I forsake you. And I go back to Yeshayahu between 40 and where we are, and he testifies these words. The heritage that I have for you is the fact that I will give nations for you. That's how important you are to me. Uh-oh. This is not the sissy speaking. For the mouth of Yahweh has spoken. So Yeshayahu is speaking out of the mouth of the Most High. Now, we get back to the idea, which we go back to in Exodus. It talks about rest. There has to be rest. I don't think I am. I don't know. I don't know at this point, but I don't think we're going to be here all day. But with that being the case, there has to be a commitment on your part and my part that when we leave this place, we carry out the actions that are germane to a Shabbat. If I go back to Bereshit chapter 1, 2, it says that on 6 days the Most High made everything that there was to make, and on the seventh day he rested. There is another Shabbat that is germane to the land. He gave a Shabbat for the land so that the land could rest, so that it could be productive. So my question is, what is rest? What is rest? What is rest? I mean, if I call you and you say, I was resting, what were you doing? What were you doing? What were you doing? You may have been reclining. You may have been laying down. You may have been meditating. But you weren't doing anything that was causing you to expend excessive energy. You're resting. Why has the Most High given us this time of rest? So that your mind and so that your body can recuperate, so it can continue to be productive. He said, and he rested. He stopped doing whatever it is he was doing. He said, I stopped, I'm done. But you're doing, Most High? I'm resting. As Hebrew people, we are going to have to acquiesce. If we're going to be purists, then we're going to have to acquiesce to all the things the Most High has asked us to do that we are able to do in this exile without excuse. Without excuse. Is that hard? No. It's just a matter of doing what? It's just a matter of what? Doing it. Now the question becomes one here is this. Do you want this? Do you want that? Do you want to find yourself a delight in the eyes of the Most High? Do you want that? Do you want this? Do you want to ride on the heights in this exiled land? Listen. Let me give you a clue. I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to give you a clue about something, okay? And it doesn't matter which two people it is that becomes the Pharaoh of this land. Doesn't matter. One of them is going to be a Pharaoh like the Pharaoh who drove Israel out of the land of Mitzrayim. You get my drift? One of them is going to be harsh. One of them is going to be one who knows not the Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. You know what I mean? If that clown gets to be the Pharaoh, you black and brown people are going to have hell to pay during the time that he holds that seat. Write it down. You heard it out of my mouth. But, come on. Stay with me, come on. Come on, everybody. I'm going to do a church thing here, all right? Everybody say but. But, if I'm a delight in the eyes of the Most High, guess what? It doesn't matter who the Pharaoh is. Because the Most High said in his word, my eyes are always up on you. And I will not, listen, follow me now. When you and I are walking in harmony with the Most High, now we can testify to the further words in Isaiah. No weapon, no words, no legislation, no policies. Pharaoh, you can do what you want to do. Hey. The Most High has you and I what? Covered. Because we're riding on the heights and we find delight in him. Oh, you worried about making money? Well, I got to work on the Shabbat because I got to make. The Most High said, listen, I am going to feed you 6 days, and on the 7th day, you don't have to go out and work. Because I'm going to give you enough those 6 days that you won't have to worry about the 7th day. But if you don't try him, if you don't believe him, and if you don't put him to the test, you will never know. Bernice, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something, sweetheart. If you apply these rules wholeheartedly to your life, if you think they know you now, when you adopt this whole process to your life in the industry that you know that you're in, oh, you go, why does my name come up in the midst of all these people? No, they're going to know who you are because the evidence is going to be the proof in the pudding that there's something different about Ernest that the rest of us don't have. How did you climb to the top so fast? Oh, let me tell you, I ride on the heights of the land, and I found delight in Yahweh. And guess what you can't do? I'm going to take the words out of the mouth of MC Hammer. Huh? Huh? Can't stop this. Y'all following me? Oh, your moray has some adjusting to do. I'm not asking you to do something that I don't have to do myself. The young man asked me a few weeks ago, well, I go home and I just play games, your own interest. Now, set the games aside. You're doing that which is within the context of your own interest. You following me? And as a matter of fact, let me do this to me. Don't follow me. Follow this. Because this is how we got here. We didn't get here by following me. We got here by following the words of the Most High El. And if we're going to progress, and if we're going to move forward, then guess what we got to do? We have to line up. Okay? The young man taught me something. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you the difference between being Hebraic and being, a jackass sissy. The difference between that is not having an ego so big that you can't be taught. See, to go into another man's house and allow them to teach you as opposed to go out. Yeah. In your mind you go, I know that. I got that. I know that. No. You listen. You listen. And you learn. When you and I stop learning, put a pin in you, you're done. You're finished. You're done. I learned some things. And as the text says, it was good for us to have been there. All right, now let's go down here. We're in Isaiah. Isaiah has significant importance to us because the verbiage starting in chapter 40 to the end of Isaiah 66 is all about something that you and I need to have in our minds and in our system that we are geared towards. What is that? Redemption. I got a question for you. Do you want to stay here? Or do you want to go back to the land? Which one is better? Here or there? It's like going to the optometrist. Which one is better? Or better? Or no. The idea in our mind has to be germane to the land. Everything that we're doing and everything that we're studying and everything that we're adopting into our system is all about redemption to the land. But recognize something. Remember in your mind, Hebrew Israel is larger than any Hebrew congregation that we have in existence right now. Moray Appleton and I have scoured the internet looking for people like us, which is the reason why we went to Atlanta. Guess what it is? Guess what? How easy is it to find people like us? And not only is it not easy, in essence, it's, I don't want to use the word difficult, but it's different. It's different being Hebrew in this exile than it would be if we were collectively together in the land. So Isaiah 40 to chapter 66 is all about redemption. Can we get there quickly? Yeah. Everybody put a pin in this and use the word, say if. Say if. If what? If all of Hebrew Israel were of the mindset that resided in Hebrew Israel in Judges. That is, doing what? If they cried out, now you have to realize that there are more Hebrews that don't know they're Hebrews. So since there's more Hebrews that don't know they're Hebrews, guess what there's not? There's not going to be a cry out. What does the word cry out mean to the Most High? Cry out means that you're willing to turn back to Him. When Israel cried out, their minds were set on turning back to Him, and He sent them a deliverer. Here's my question to you. How many people look like you are crying out to the Most High? Matter of fact, let's take another part. How many people like you even know who He is? Hello? Come on. How many of them look like you will even acknowledge that the Most High's name is Yahweh? How many? How many? Not many. So the recognition of time in this exile goes back to Zechariah, who proclaims through his voice that I saw him coming on a donkey. So the Greek text picks up the text, and they talk about, well, he rode into Bethphage on a donkey. That must be him. No, it's a metaphor, stupid. How's a donkey move? Donkeys don't run. Donkeys move slow. And if you make them mad, huh? And you can do what? So the metaphor in Zechariah is about the coming of the Most High in a time which is not quick. But if we go to Daniel, Daniel talks about him coming on a cloud. How do clouds move? Swiftly. So if Hebrew Israel at large, as they were in the book of Judges, were to turn and cry out, then the deliverer would come quickly. But let's look at Isaiah chapter 59. Coming off of chapter 58 and the prior chapters, last chapter, Yeshayahu elaborated on the conduct that would save Hebrew Israel. Now, this chapter chastises Hebrew Israel for their previous actions. In this chapter, Yeshayahu will emphasize that even though the nation has sinned, yet Yahweh is still close to them and he hears their prayers. So he asks a question. Yahweh's arm is not too short to save, nor is his ear too dull to hear. We got a problem. We got a problem. The problem shows up right here. It's not that I can't save you, and it's not that I don't hear you. The problem is your crimes separate you from me. What crimes? What crimes? Well, in the mind of the Most High, is sin a crime? Is violating his mitzvot a crime? Within the confines of his mitzvot, there's some capital punishment. That's a crime. You, Israel, your crimes have separated you from me, which has caused me to hide my face from you so that I don't hear you. Now, there's a caveat here. There's a caveat here. What's the caveat? The caveat is that your Elohim is what? What is he? What is he? What is he? Merciful, long-suffering, and patient. If your Elohim was not gracious, long-suffering, and patient, you and I would not be in this state where we are today. He showed us mercy. He showed us mercy. He showed us kindness until we arrived in our mind where we could even accept the fact that he is set apart and he's not the same guy as the guy across the street, and the guy across the street is not him. Till in our mind we understand and can ask the question along with him, who's like me? To whom do you compare me? Our mindset has been drawn into that. Isaiah 4, what nation is there like you that has such laws and has an Elohim, watch this, that is as close to you as he is and hears you? No, come on. Let's get happy here. What does he do? What does he do? He does what? Whenever we call. In other words, his face is not hidden from you. When you and I call him, guess what he does? He hears. You know why? Because by walking in his word and walking in his mitzvot, we bind him to his word that causes him to have to act. But your crimes, so they don't hear. Your hands are stained with blood. Your fingers with crime. Your lips speak lies. Your tongues utter wicked things. Well, I want you to think about this, okay? Our people, and I have to teach this way. Everybody teaches different. I have to teach this way. You know why I have to teach this way? Because I want Hebrew Israel that's out there that don't know they're Hebrew Israel to understand what they're doing that's causing the problem. And if somebody doesn't tell them what's causing the problem, guess what? They'll never know. Listen, let me tell you. If you have cancer and you never go get it investigated, guess what you won't know? You won't know that you have cancer until you get diagnosed at 5-stage cancer and you're ready to die. It's our job to tell our people what the sins and what the lies are and what the crimes are. What are the lies? There's no demigod that can save you. Can a man save you? What does the text say? What does the mitzvot say? The mitzvot says that every man who sins must pay for his own sins. What's the mitzvot say? The mitzvot says, you shall not offer your children as a sacrifice. So even if the joker across the street said he died for your sins and he's the father's son, it violates the father's mitzvot. Would he do that? No. So that is a lie. Not only is it a lie, it also promotes wicked things. Because within the wickedness, you're thinking that, you know what? The devil made me do this. What devil? Where did he create a devil? Did he talk about a devil in Genesis chapter 1, 2, and 3 when he created all things? Did he talk about a hell in Genesis? Did he forget something? No one sues without just cause. No one pleads honesty in court. They trust in empty words and say worthless things. They conceive trouble and they give birth to that which is evil. They hatch vipers' eggs. They give birth to that which is evil. We live in a time where spiritual leaders don't rebuke people. They rule in unjust ways. People make promises with no intent to keeping their word. Have we been there? Promises. People don't make their words. Their webs are useless. Verse 5, back up. They hatch vipers' eggs and spin spiders' webs. Whoever eats their eggs dies, and the crushed eggs hatches a snake. Let's look at this word and let's see how it reads from a metaphorical perspective. The verse is a metaphor. It explains for people who are wicked, their thoughts and their deeds are compared to adder's eggs. An adder is a snake. Unlike some snakes, adders do not lay eggs, and instead they give birth to up to 20 live young in the summer. So these eggs hatch, they come out as snakes in the summer. The species has been known to live for more than 10 years, although it can sometimes fall victim to other predators, such as birds of prey, crows, even pheasants, especially when young. These are people who think only about sinning. Misery and destruction, the metaphor, always follows them. They compete in the race to do evil and run to be the first to murder. They plan and plot evil, think and breathe evil, and leave a trail of wretched lives behind them. Whoever joins them will become like them, and it's like eating the eggs of an adder. Question for you. What's our job as Hebrew people? Our job as Hebrew people is to bring a message that is diabolically opposed to that. That brings to the ear of the hearer that which is good. Which brings to the ear of the hearer, give me Psalms, what is it? I think it's 19 and 7. I think that's what I want. Give me Psalms 19 and 7. I think it's 19 and 7. Our task is to bring to the mind of the people the Torah of Yahweh, which is what? Perfect. Restores the inner person. So if we're bringing them things that restores the inner person, we're bringing them things that's going to do what? That's going to provide healing to them. Because they're sick. The instructions of Yahweh is sure, making wise. You all that are thoughtless. You don't know. You don't even think. You don't even understand the value of what the Shabbat is all about. And you're not willing to grab it. Oh. 2007, when I made the transition, we had a pretty healthy congregation. When I changed to the Sabbath, they said, we go shopping on the Sabbath. We cut the grass on the Shabbat. Oh, I hang out with my husband on the Shabbat. We got things to do. We're not doing that. Oh, and by the way, what does it do? It causes other people to be like you. Oh, and by the way, our friends don't do that. Let me ask y'all a question. Since being Hebraic, how you feel? How you feel? No. Come on. No. How do you feel? Now wait a minute. Watch that. I'm not asking you how does the house feel. I'm not asking you about the house. House don't matter. I'm asking you, how does your soul feel? Because the precepts of Yahweh are right. They bring rejoicing to your heart. Your heart rejoices. The mitzvot of Yahweh are pure. What do? They cause your eyes to be open so that you can see. The fear of Yahweh is clean, enduring forever. The rulings of Yahweh are true. They are righteous altogether. Oh, more desirable than that bullion of gold that would be so precious if you had it. And much finer than gold, also sweeter than honey in the drippings from the honeycomb. Through them you are warned. In obeying them, there is what? What is there? What is there? Come on, say it loud. There is great reward. So we're not in this adder's place. The webs are useless as clothing. Their deeds are useless for wearing. Their deeds are deeds of wickedness. Their hands produce violence. I don't need to be over there. I don't need to be in that. As a matter of fact, watch this now. Watch this now. Watch this. Watch this. Watch this. Don't get so proud that you don't recall your beginnings. Remember something. The Most High had to go get you and snatch you out of that. Come on, come on. You didn't come out on your own. Don't even get your head to. No. You didn't come out on your own. Did the Most High give you an inkling that you needed to come out? Did he place in your heart and your spirit, there's something that you're missing. There's something more that you need to know. Did he not? Come here, young man. Yeah, come here. Come here. Go sit in that chair over there. Did the Most High not come and get you? Give me your hand. Did he do that? Wait. You can go. Wait. You can go. Did he not say in Ezekiel that I will look for Israel myself? Did he not say it? Did he not go and look for you? Did he not come and find you? Did he not bring you out not with a weak arm? He brought you out with a strong arm. He changed you from feet to run evil. He changed you from rushing to shed innocent blood. He changed your thoughts of wickedness. He changed your thoughts from paths that led to havoc and ruin. For the way of Yahweh, they do not know. My elder over here used to tell me, More, remember, we haven't been too long got off the tomato truck ourselves. We ain't always been here. We weren't born into this. The Most High had to bring us out, and he had to teach us. Our people don't know. They're going about obeying no law. They make devious paths for themselves. No one trending them will ever know peace. I want you to see the difference. The house the house, this house is not going to the land. This house is not going to the land. As a matter of fact, I propose to tell you that of the three components that you are made of, body, soul, and spirit, two of them you know go back to the source of their origin, right? Body goes to dust. Soul does what? Goes back to its source, the spirit, right? Breath, goes back to the source of its giving. Well, where does the soul go? Interesting question, isn't it? I propose to tell you that when man dies, his soul returns to its point of origin. Souls aren't going to be from all the graves in the world. That's not going to happen. I got good news for you. I believe this. I don't have a scripture text to prove it, but I believe it. I believe that when we die, our soul goes back to its point of origin in the land. So guess what? It's not a bad thing to die. Because Daniel says that your soul will be revivificated from the dust. And where are we going to arrive at? We're not coming back here. We'll arrive in the land. So, because of all the things that we read, this is why justice is far from us and righteousness does not catch up with us. We look for light, but all we see is darkness. Where's the light? Thank you, Brother Beverly. Where's the light, class? Come on, talk to me. Where's the light? You know, I was in the elders' congregation last week, and those people didn't have any problem at all responding to him. No problem at all. They just spoke out. Moray, so and so and so and so. I'm asking you, where's the light? The light's in Torah. But all they see is the Greekness, which is dark, mystical, and evil, comprised of that which is the mindset of the Greeks and the Europeans, which are part of a nation that's called Gog and Magog, which in the end of the day, the Most High is going to destroy. I got a question for you. Why would you hook your wagon to a group of people that are going to be destroyed? Don't you know that if they're going to be destroyed, you're going to be... Listen. You all read Scripture, right? You all read Scripture? When Israel went into captivity for their disobedience to the Most High, did all of them make it out? Some of them were destroyed. Because what? They hooked their ideas and thought to that which was idolatrous. As a matter of fact, I forget the number, but Moshe was up on the mountain with the Most High, communicating and getting things to bring to them. They had reverted back, had a golden calf built. Moshe came down and he was hot as coals. Threw those tablets down and broke them. All of Israel was behind him. He stepped out in the front. He asked him a question. All of you that are for Yahweh, step forward. There was an entourage to step forward. He turned around and looked. He said, now kill them. Oh, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. My auntie's back there. Okay, kill her. Wait. My uncle's back there. Kill him. Whoa. Oh, my daddy's back there. Kill him. You know why? You know why? Because we're going to get rid of all this wickedness that's been crying and proclaiming, oh, would to God, okay, not Yahweh, would to God, Pharaoh and the gods of Egypt, would to God that we'd have stayed in Mitzrayim. I'm not having it. The Most High said, I'm not having it. We grope the wall like the blind. Like people with eyes, we feel our way. We stumble at noonday as if it were dusk, and we are in dark places like the dead. I want to go back somewhere because I missed some notes that I want to talk about. Verse 6, producing violence, explains that the deeds of the wicked people are fleeting. They have no permanence than to spin spiders' webs. In verse 8, the way of peace they do not know. Their goings about obey no law. They make devious paths for themselves. No one treading them will ever know peace. The text says that anyone who follows these kind of people will never find peace for themselves. In other words, guess what? You sit in a different place because what? Your soul is at peace. This is why justice is far from them. But they see darkness for brightness. They walk in gloom. There is something unique in this text that renders itself into the issues of our times. One thing the prophets do is they speak into the present. This text has to do with previous texts in this chapter which speak to present times. The need for there to be some degree of righteousness is always before the Hebrew people of melanated people. Our people cry out to the Elohim of the Greeks and the Romans to save them from their enemies, to no avail. There seems to be no punishment for their oppressors. We look at our people, and in many cases, there is no justice among themselves. The reference in light to darkness are a metaphor for redemption and exile. People who are aware that there will be an end to the exile hope for an early redemption. But we remain in darkness in this exile worldwide. We growl. Let's look at something here, okay? Let's look at the action. The action here, walking in gloom, walking in darkness, and so forth. Let's look at it. Let's take a picture of it, okay? What do you see? What do you see when you see our people gathered, walking down the street, crying out, no justice, no peace? What do you see? What do you see? No justice, no peace. What do you see? What do you see? You see a people walking in darkness who don't know where to go to find peace. If we go back to Devarim chapter 28, the Most High proclaims every action that's going to befall Hebrew Israel in exile. And guess what you can't do? You cannot legislate yourself out of it. There's no congressman that can help you get out of it. There's no Pharaoh that can help you get out of it. There's no governor that can help you get out of it. There's no lawyer that can help you. Only Yahweh can deliver you. And guess what you don't know? You don't know that. We growl like bears, moan pitiful like doves, looking for justice, but there's none. Deliverance is far from us. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Do you know that when your people read that text, our people read that text, do you know that they don't have a clue what it's talking about? Do you realize that? You know why they don't? Because they don't have anyone to teach them. They don't have anyone to tell them. And I kind of believe that their teachers kind of know. I believe they kind of know this stuff. But there's a problem in knowing it and telling them because there's a lot at stake to lose. In 2007, when I made this transition, some of you all were here when this congregation was kind of full. That's the way it was in 2007. I was, ooh. I thought I was doing it. Notice I said, stop that. Turn back to me. And the congregation went away. Now, you wonder why, and some of you that are here today have been in this congregation when this congregation in this building was kind of full. But it sparsed and went away. But it was a reason. It was a reason. Some of you all thought you left for one reason or another, but that wasn't the reason it happened. The reason it happened was because our focus was on the wrong thing. We weren't teaching mitzvot. We were reading them, but we weren't teaching them. Once I asked me a question, do you know what they are? I go, yeah. No, you don't. I go, yeah, I do. I say, no, you don't. So he says, go read Psalms 119 and ask the questions as you read down Psalms 119. Ask yourself a question. What is my king talking about? Ask yourself a question. What are these? Ask yourself another question. Where are these? Ask yourself another question. Where do I find them? Ask yourself another question. How do I apply them to my life? And I did that. And he said to me, now I want you to go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. And I want you to hear what I told Moshe to tell my people to do. Moshe said, the Most High told me to teach you his rules, his regulations, and his teachings. What are you doing? Oh, you're teaching Hebrew. Where in my scriptures did I ever tell you to teach Hebrew? Hello? Hello? We thought we was doing something. Teaching Hebrew. Oh, and by the way, while you're there, why don't you scratch that sissy jackass and quit talking about him too? And this congregation went, because they didn't want to hear any of that. For your crimes multiply before you, your sins testify against us. For our crimes are present with us, and our sins we know them well. rebelling and denying Yahweh, turning away from following our Elohim, taking about oppression and revolt, uttering lies with our hearts have conceived. We're going to get there. So the question now, thus justice is repelled, righteousness stands apart at a distance, truth stumbles in the public court, uprightness cannot enter, honesty is lacking. Uh-oh. Do you see yourself as that? Do you see yourself as that? Do you see yourself as being a target? Do you feel like in this era, everywhere you go, proclaiming your Hebraicness, you find yourself being a target? Is it hard to be a Hebrew in this exile? Because you and I stand for righteousness? Is that difficult for us? Absolutely. Well, Yahweh saw it, and it displeased him that there was no justice. He saw that there was no one, was amazed that no one interceded. Now, this is not talking about the guy across the street. We get back to my analogy. Who brought you out? Did he break? Come here, young man, again. Come here, come here, come here. Go sit in the chair. Did he bring you out with a weak hand? Or did he bring you out with a strong hand? He wasn't weak about it. He was strong. My arm. I saw that there was none. Therefore, my arm brought you salvation, and his righteousness is the one that was sustaining who? The Most High. Not the guy across the street. What did he do? What did he do? He put on righteousness as his breastplate, salvation as a helmet on his head. He clothed himself with garments of vengeance, wrapped himself in a mantle of zeal. Oh, hey, how do you see people with zeal? They're rambunctious, aren't they? People are zealous. Listen, the Most High saw himself, and with zeal, he came and got you. Now, this is what I like. I like this. I'm going to use the words of the young people, okay? Wait for it. Just wait for it. Don't get anxious. Wait for it. The one who brought us out with a strong arm of zeal, he repays according to their deeds. Fury to his foes, reprisal to his enemies, to the nations, that word coastland is nations, he will repay their due. In the west, they will fear the name of Yahweh. Likewise, in the east, his glory. Using the west and the east is a metaphor that encompasses all of the things that the Most High has done where he exists and where his people are. For he will come like a pent-up stream. Can I get you to do something for me? Can I get you to do something for me again? Can you do something? Can I get, come on, will you open your mouth loud and will you say this? Will you say this? Come, Yahweh. Oh no, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. We can do that. Come on. Come, Yahweh. Like a pent-up stream impelled by his spirit. The Redeemer will come to Zion, to those in Yaakov who turn from rebellion. So says Yahweh. Now, let's understand this last verse. This last verse is very important. Inside it is some very interesting thought process. There will be a difference between those, matter of fact, let's go to, give me Daniel, last chapter of Daniel. Give me the last chapter of Daniel, chapter 12. Give me that. When that time comes, okay? Whenever we hear the expression, when that time comes, it's talking about redemption. Michael, the great prince who champions your people, will stand up, and there will be a time of distress unparalleled between the time they became a nation and that moment. Okay? Tell everybody, tell your neighbor, I'm in church today, aren't I? Tell your neighbor, that time hasn't arrived yet. You know how I know it hasn't arrived yet? Because as distress comes upon us, we are like the eagles in the nest. We keep doing this. And we find a comfortable place in the nest amongst all the thorns to get peace and relaxation. We find that. There will be a place and a time of distress unparalleled. At that time, your people, Hebrew Israel, will be delivered. Everyone, no. Your people, everyone whose name is found written in the book. Now, at that time, we have been locked in on the idea that only us righteous Torah people are going to be the only ones. You're going to be in the dust, I'm going to be in the dust, but let's read the text. Many of those sleeping in the dust of the earth will awaken. Many. Some to everlasting life, and some to everlasting shame and abhorrence. So there's two groups of people at that time that are going to be revocated from the dust and be in the land. The righteous and those who are in abhorrence. But those who can discern will shine like the brightness of the heaven's dome, and those who turn many to righteousness like the stars forever and ever. But, you, Daniel, keep these words secret and seal them up until the time of the end. Many will rush here and there as knowledge increases. Here's my point. My question to the class is, when did the end begin? When did the end begin? What's the text say? What's the text say? The text says that the end will happen and knowledge will increase. So we put the two together and we ask ourselves a question. When did knowledge increase? What year? What Gregorian year did knowledge increase? 1985 with the World Wide Web. So if we do a Gregorian calculation, I said a Gregorian calculation. If we do a Hebraic calculation, it is sooner than the Gregorian calculation. So if I do the math, and I look at 1985 and I look at where I'm at today, we are in the end of the day of the sixth day. Are you glad about it? And the time is short. Because if I do the math, there's some years that have already been wiped off the Gregorian calendar. But let me tell you something. Do you remember in 2000 when the world was concerned about there being a computer glitch or something was going to happen in 2000 and everybody was manning their computers? Remember? You know what I told them? At work, because I worked in IT. You know what I told them? I said, you all are preparing for something that has already happened. The Most High's year and time concerning to Daniel had already happened. So let's look at 21. As far as for me, says Yahweh, this is my covenant with them. That's you. My spirit who rests on you, Isaiah, and my words which I have put in your mouth, Isaiah, will not depart from your mouth, or from the mouth of your children, or from the mouth of your children's children, now or ever, says Yahweh. But here's the key. Come on, do right. My covenant is with them. So here's what we have to do. We have to go back and we have to study and ask ourselves the question, what is this that he made with us? What's the covenant? The covenant that he made with us did not have any restrictions on it in terms of who. He told Abraham and our ancestors that from the four corners which I have dispersed them, I have made a covenant that I will bring them back from all those places back to the land. That has no restrictions on it. So guess who's going to be in the land with us? Okay? Some hard-headed, stiff-necked Hebrews. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, the Most High says in Ezekiel, it is not my desire that any man that I created should be destroyed. I don't find no pleasure in the death of my people. So out of all those people he's bringing back, guess what? The nations are going to have these words. Does the text not say that? Let us do what? Let us go where? Up to Jerusalem. For what reason? The Torah is being taught there. But don't be dismayed. Don't be dismayed because you're going to be in the land with some hard-headed, stiff-necked Negroes. Don't let that bother you. Because Zechariah clears it up. Zechariah 13, 14. Out of all of us that get brought back to the land, okay, the prophet Zechariah says only 1/3 of you are going to make it into the final day of redemption. 1/3. I know the Moreh Elkanah, he gives you context of scripture and text and scripture and text and scripture and text. I know he does that. I quote it. You can own it by doing the research and go find it for yourself. I am going to bring your people back to the land. The question that is going to arise happens right here in the next chapter. Arise and shine, Jerusalem, for your light has come, the glory of Yahweh has risen on you. For although darkness covers the earth, thick darkness the peoples, and on you Yahweh will rise, over you will be seen his glory. Nations will go toward your light, kings towards your shining splendor. Now, this right here is the kicker, because the idea is that the Most High is going to bring us back to the land. Jerusalem asked the question, who has been teaching my children? Because the Most High refers to us as children in the land of Jerusalem. Who fathered them? You follow me? The Most High is going to keep his covenant with Hebrew Israel, and you should be glad that some of your ancestors who you have been trying to get this don't get it, that are going to be asleep in the grave, that were good people, are going to get a chance in Jerusalem to go up to Jerusalem and hear the Torah of the Most High being taught, and they're going to get an opportunity to walk in this. Okay? But if they don't, they had an opportunity. So the Most High whittles it down to what? 1/3. As I close today, here's the goal. Here's the goal. The goal, and I use this analogy, but this analogy resonates with sports. In the sports world, my goal, if I'm an athlete and I want to be a professional, what's my goal? My goal is what? Anybody know? Yes, to get drafted. My goal is to get drafted. This right here is about the draft. I made a covenant. I'm going to bring them all back. That's the draft. Right there, the covenant is the draft. Now, guess what you have to do? You have to make the cut to be on the team to go into the... This is the goal. But you got to get back to the land to make the goal. Because Zechariah says, oh, I'm going to bring 1/3 of you through the fire. And I'm going to test you. Well, let's put this in sports analogy. I'm going to draft you, but I'm going to work you out to determine whether or not you have the substance to go with me into the final day. You know why? because I ain't having it no more. I'm not having you hard-headed. I'm not having you being hard-headed and stiff-necked and doing your own thing. No more. It's going to be my way or no way. But I'm going to test you to see whether or not you can keep my mitzvot. I'm going to test you to see whether or not you're going to honor my word. I'm going to test you to see whether or not you're going to honor my testimonies. I'm going to test you, and you're going to prove to me that you can do this. And I'm going to bring you to the fire and make you prove it. That's the goal. So let's end with these words. What is all this we're doing in exile? What is all this we're doing? Keeping the Sabbath? Honoring his mitzvahs? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? We're practicing. You know why we're practicing? I'm going to tell you why we're practicing. You know why an athlete has a coach? Because the athlete don't know all that he thinks he knows. So he has a coach to help him. When we get in the land, we're going to have a coach. Coach is going to open up our understanding. Oh, you did this, but why don't you just change it up a little bit and do this? Oh, now it becomes more. Now the mitzvot are going to come more clearer to our understanding. We're going to know how to walk in the land. We're going to know how to treat each other in the land. We're going to know how to honor the Most High in the land. And guess what? Our mistakes will be minuscule. Oh, and there's another thing, okay? You, in this land, don't want to be a tattletale. You don't want to be a tattletale. In the land, if I see you breaking Torah, my obligation is to tell you that you're breaking Torah. Now, I'm going to say this in this context. It's one of the things that I admired about Moreh Elkanah. He doesn't mind telling you when you're breaking Torah. I don't mind telling you. In the land, if I don't tell you that you broke Torah, I am going to be culpable in your actions even though I did not break Torah. So I'm going to have to be a tattletale. I'm going to have to go to the Kohanim. I'm going to say, hey, Kohanim, hey, we got so-and-so over here that's not honoring what Torah says. And it's kind of throwing his head to the wind. Oh, okay, let me go talk to the brother. Let me go talk to the sister. Let's go get understanding. And then if you want to quibble with the Kohanim is just going to say, okay, y'all, go get your shovels. Get your baseball arms together because we're getting ready to have a stoning in the land. And that's the reason why the Most High says to us, out of the whole masses of the covenant that I'm going to bring back to the land, only 1/3 of you are going to make it. That's in text. Our goal is to make the 1/3. If you believe in everlasting life, that's where it is. It's not in the Shemayim, it's in the land. Where Yahweh will be the opulent spirit, and we're going to have an awesome king, the one whom we read about, who said, he will be my king, my Moshiach forever, when he anointed King David
king over Jerusalem in Israel. And he said, and my spirit will rest upon him. I'm through. Oh, an addendum to the text. Oh, I will not be angry with you anymore. Oh, I will not cause violence to come upon you anymore. Oh, oh, there will not be any more tornadoes. There will not be any more firestorms. There will not be any more floods that you'll have to worry about. But in Jerusalem, there will be nothing but total shalom, peace. Is that something to look forward to? Do you want that? Is there one? Let's make an altar call now. Is there one? Is there one? You want that. So keep doing what you're doing. And remember, the goal is to receive his delight and his glory residing upon you. Watch this now. Watch this now. Watch this now. Not someplace, but every place you go. Let me give you my go-to. I'm going to give you my go-to when I'm in pain. I'm going to give you my go-to when I'm in distress. My go-to when I need the Most High to hear me. I'm going to give you my go-to. It's in Psalms. I think it's 54. I'm not sure. But it says these words. If your ways please me, I don't know if it's there or not, I will give you the desires of your heart. Huh? 104? Okay, so 104. So now it's in Psalms 104. If your ways, the word ways means Torah. If you're walking in Torah and you please me, I will give you the desires of your heart. That means that anything that comes into your mind that is within the framework of the will of the Most High, and he said, I want you to be prosperous. I want you to be fruitful. I want you to have delight. I want you to ride on the hills and the heights. So if you're walking in Torah and your ways please me, I will give you. You don't have to beg for it. I will give you the desires of your heart. Let me testify as I go out the door. I'm in New York. I'm walking. No, I'm in the airport, flying into New York, and I'm walking. And all of a sudden, in my left foot, right there, there is an excruciating pain that came from I don't know where. So I can't walk on the ball of my foot. And I'm going, Most High, I'm away from home, I'm in New York, I have to walk. I said to him, you said, if my ways pleased you, you would give me the desires of my heart. I need you, Most High, to take this pain that's in my foot from wherever it came from, and I need it to go away so I can walk. I can't even find it now. I can't even find it, Brother Charles. Oh, it was there. It diminished. It diminished so that I could walk. But to this day, I can't find it. I can't find it. Can I have one more testimony? Can I have one more? Bernice, can I have one more? Can I have one more, Bernice? Bernice is like my wife. My wife used to sit there, she'd go. Can I have one more? I had made a reservation to get picked up last Friday to go to the airport by Uber, but I put the wrong time in. I wanted to get picked up at 10:30 a.m. I put 10:30 p.m. So I'm sitting there waiting for Uber to come, and Uber's not coming. I said, well, they're not coming. I said, well, let me jump in my truck, and I'll drive myself to the airport. I get to the parking lot. I don't know if you've ever been in that parking lot. I can't find a parking place. I got to get to the terminal. I'm driving through there, and I'm praying, Yahweh, you said, I'm stressing, you said, and the Most High did something for me. Won't he do it? He opened up a parking place for me. But then there's another caveat, Brother Charles. From where he opened up the parking place for me, I had to hurry that distance to get to the terminal. And I'm huffing, I'm puffing. I get there, and I'm dry mouth. But guess what? I got there. I had my cardio exercise before I left Sacramento. Come on. Now remember I told you I had that pain on the ball of my foot? Remember I told you that? That Hebrew right there walked me 6 miles in New York. 6 miles. 6 miles in New York. On a foot I wasn't supposed to walk on. I'm just saying, you all. If what? If we walk in Torah, we can bind the Most High to his word, and he will do what he said he would do. Shalom. Yerareka, Yahweh V'yishmereka. Yair, Yahweh Panav, Leka, Akanuka. Yasai, Yahweh Panav, Leka, by Yeshua, Laka Shalom. May Yahweh bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and bless you and show you his favor. May Yahweh lift up his face toward each one of you and give you peace. Shalom.